Hey everybody, I'm Justin Czar with bowhunting.com. I'm here with Lenny Resmer from Carbon Express to talk a little bit about some of the new arrows for 2013. Now Lenny, the arrow that I'm personally most excited about, because I've already been shooting pile drivers, is the new pile driver that you guys have for this year.
Yeah, it's a smaller diameter. It's called the Pile Driver Pass-Through Extreme.
Okay.
And what we've done is made it about 30% smaller than what the old pile driver does.
Right.
Now, it'll take a half-out insert, a half-out steel insert, which is a very type of strong insert there.
Right.
And it's for somebody that wants that little extra penetration out there with a small diameter type shaft.
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally a big fan of a little bit more weight, a little bit more kinetic energy, especially when I'm shooting those big, expandable broadheads. I really want to drive it home, and that pile driver has been working great for me. Yeah,
this will give you that same effect as your other pile driver, but in a smaller diameter, so it's even going to give you more
better penetration
out there.
Excellent. Okay. So what else do we got here?
Well, we've got a new Mutiny. We've had a Mutiny out for a couple of years now. Now we've got an arrow called the Mutiny Slasher. Now this particular one is a lot lighter. It runs about in a 400 spine, about 7 grains per inch. So it's one of our lightest arrows we have in the line. It's going to retail for roughly around $110 a dozen. Okay. So it's got a good price point to it. For somebody who wants that flat shooting type arrow, especially for out west, some of these guys, they're shooting 50, 60 yards, and they want a little bit flatter shooting type arrow. Yep. Some guys shooting 3D, maybe want a little flatter arrow for 3D.
Yeah, I mean, so people definitely love their speed. There's no doubt about that.
That's right. Some want penetration and this type, some are all about speed. Yep. This is our speed arrow with the new Mutiny Slasher out there. Okay. And then moving on, of course, you're familiar with the Maxima Hunter. Yep. The Maxima Hunter has kind of been the bread and butter for the last 4 years on Carbon Express. It's the dual spine weight forward, meaning the back portion is a lot stiffer and lighter than the front 2/3, and this happens to be the Mathews edition with the Lost Camo on there. We've got a new arrow we're stepping into for 2013, and that's with the Maxima Red. Now the Maxima Red is still a weight forward type arrow, but instead of being a dual spine, it's got a multiple of spines on there. Okay. The back end is even now stiffer and lighter than the old Maxima Hunter was on there. And the front portion here is stiffer and not quite as light as the back, but it's stiffer and a little bit heavier here, so it gives you your FOC the front. Okay. But the weakest part of the spine is in the middle, what we call the red zone. This particular thing puts the dynamic spine or the forgiveness of the spine dead center in the sweet spot in a shorter range. This shorter range causes the arrow, when as soon as it leaves the bow, it has the forgiveness, but it instantly straightens out. And that is crucial when you start talking a broadhead. You talk of putting a broadhead, especially a fixed bay broadhead, the faster you can get that point on going accurate and get that arrow turning and stabilized, the more accurate it's going to be with a broadhead. So this arrow is all about broadhead performance with the red zone being your forgiveness and recovery area of the arrow with the new Maxima Red. So we're very excited about this. And along with that, we've had the Precision, CX Precisions out Nocks on all our arrows for 2012. We've now incorporated a launch pad, we're calling it, lighted Nock. This particular Nock has the same consistency and precision as our CX Precision Nocks, which, by the way, we're going to call launch pads also for 2013. We're calling this the launch pad lighted Nock. It only weighs 18 grains, and when to turn it on, all you need to do is the push of the string turns it on, and it takes and lights up. And to turn it off, it's just a matter of pulling it back a 1/16 of an inch, and it turns off. Yeah. So it's very light, so it won't affect the back end and flight on there. Easy turn off, easy on by just the bow going forward.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that a lot of people forget about when it comes to accuracy of shooting arrows is the Nock. I mean, really, that's kind of where it all starts. I mean, that string's pushing the Nock forward. So with these launch pad precision Nocks, I mean, they're one of the tightest tolerance, most high quality Nocks that you can possibly get in an arrow, which just increases the overall accuracy of your entire system.
Right, in several ways. One thing is the strings has got bigger diameter, so we've opened up the opening and the bottom there. Next thing is they're perfectly straight 4-axis. And like you said, that's why we're calling it the launch pad now, because that is the key part that's being pushed on there. And if you have a crooked Nock on the back end of 2 or 3 thousandths, that's worse than having an arrow that's 8 or 9 thousandths out in straightness. because of the way it's pushing it off like that.
Right.
So now we got a perfectly straight knock. They come off the string because they're the right diameter of the throat opening and the bottom of it, and they're all the same density. We have a way to control the density, so they snap on and off exactly the same. There's not a weak snap on or off.
Right.
So, and we've now incorporated that right into the new launch pad lighted knock of that same thing. So they're going to shoot exactly the same, whether you have the launch pad or now the new launch pad lighted knock.
Excellent. Well, we definitely got, a variety of great new products from Carbon Express this year. If people want to learn more about these products, what's your website address where they can see that?
CarbonExpressArrows.com.
Well, there you go, guys. You can visit CarbonExpressArrows.com. If you're interested in the Mathews edition, you can go to LostCamo.com, or of course, you can visit your local Mathews retailer.